Hey everyone!
You're watching another webisode of Galui's Mood Food.
Let's go tempt your taste buds.
Enjoy. Hi, today we're making Galui Stroganoff. It's our twist on beef stroganoff. We're going to use ground chuck and we use an 80-20 blend. Alright, so the first thing we do to get ready is you put your skillet on the burner and you set it to about medium and kind of let it preheat. In the meantime, you get your mushrooms ready, okay? Now, you don't ever wash mushrooms. You just take a paper towel and any dirt that's loose on them, you just wipe it off with a paper towel. We use stems and we use the root, the stems and the caps. Okay. And you can cut them to any size you like. Gotta chase them around here a little bit. Alright, and once you get all your mushrooms done, and we use probably about, in this dish for us, about 6 to 8 mushrooms. And we've got the miniature portobellos here going on. So you take some extra virgin olive oil and you put it in your skillet, just enough to get the bottom lightly coated there, and you want to get your mushrooms in there. That's 6 to 8 mushrooms right there, caps and stems. Get them going, get them started. Alright, and then we take a large white onion, and you want to use about 3/4 of it. And you kind of want to do it pretty much the same way. So cut it in half, cut it in 4s, and then go from there and just dice it up. Alright, once that's all diced up, doesn't have to be fine, nice chunks, good. Put that in the bowl with what we already prepped. So we get a nice bowl of onions ready to go here. Alright, we're going to turn the mushrooms up a little bit. They're sizzling right now, which is wonderful. Okay? Get you stir those up. You got your extra virgin olive oil in there. The mushrooms are smelling wonderful already just by themselves. Alright, let them go for just a few minutes before you add the onions. That way they have a nice, they have a time to get a nice brown to them, and lightly brown I should say. So we're getting pretty close right now, so that's why you put them in ahead of time. Alright. After you get those lightly browned and very fragrant in the home. Oh, hear that sizzle. Now at this point in time, you may need to add a little bit more of olive oil. You might not to, but in this point in time, I'm going to have to add just a little bit more olive oil so my onions don't burn. So just a couple swoops around the pan and you add your onions. Get all those in and you add a little onion powder. Okay, a couple good shakes of that. Some good black pepper. A couple shakes of that, and just a little bit of salt, and we'll let you know why later, because we're going to be using a stock and it's got salt in it. So you can always add salt, you can't take it away. Give that a good stir. Let those onions sweat out, let those mushrooms cook, and get the onions to almost a caramelized look about them. And then we're going to take it from there. We'll be right back. Okay, so the mushrooms and the onion and the olive oil, and we've got the onion powder, black pepper, and a little bit of salt in here. They've been cooking and doing their thing, and they're starting to get tender. So what you want to do is you want to push them to the outer edges of your pan. Okay? And you want to turn it up maybe to a medium high heat. And this is what you're going to have going on right here. There's a reason why you do that. And the reason is the heat's in the center. We've got here 2 pound of ground chuck, 80-20 mix, and you just take chunks of it and you put in the center with your onions and your mushrooms and your olive oil. There's enough oil in there already. Okay. Get that all loaded in the center, and that's alright. It's going to touch the onions and the mushrooms, that's fine, but you just want to keep them on the outer skirts for now until you start getting a nice brown. Okay? Until you start getting a really, really, really nice brown on this chuck. Alright. There's the rest of it goes in. Now I'm going to wash my hands real quick. Keep that on medium to medium high. Keep an eye on it. In the meantime, we're going to be putting some wine in this dish, as we do all of our dishes. There's something that goes into them. It's either wine or beer or whatever. Just keep an eye on it. Check for brownness. Turn it. And you don't want it too fine or anything of that nature. Don't chunk it up. Don't let the ground beef dissolve into nothing. But pour yourself a glass of wine and treat yourself while you're cooking this dish. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. I gotta have a little sippy poo of the wine that's going to be going into this here in just a little bit, but keep an eye on your ground beef. Again, just turn it over, make sure things are getting done and it's getting brown. Then you can start mixing the onions and the mushrooms from the outside and incorporate it with that ground chuck, okay? But don't chunk it up too much again. Leave some nice meaty pieces. So as that browns, and it's still continuing to, alright, this is something that's different than anybody else out there does entirely. Alright, it's something that we come up with to impart another whole dimension and a dynamic flavor into your food, to impart into your food. So we use beef stock instead of water and a whole lot of salt into your noodles, and we just got you can get an egg noodle. That's what we're using in this, or you can get the the no yolks, cholesterol free, whatever your choice is, and an egg noodle. And we got the dumpling ones today. But use beef stock, and you want to use about 6 cups, okay? So this is the reason why I told you don't add a lot of salt earlier, because you're going to taste it as you go, and you'll add it as you need it. So this is the flavor that your noodles are going to pick up. Alright, and you gotta check your beef mushrooms and onion again and just give it another stir. In the meantime, you've got this on a high heat. Okay? And what we're gonna add to that, and this is for boiling noodles, it's just not 5 quarts of water to, you know, a packet of pasta. We do the chicken stock or the beef stock. In this case it's beef. We add pepper to it. We add some onion powder to it. I'd say a couple shakes in the pepper and maybe a good tablespoon of onion powder. Teaspoon of garlic. And we're going to let this go to a boil, and then we're going to add our noodles, and we'll be right back, and we'll show you how to put all this good stuff together. Hey everybody, we're back. Ground chuck, the onion and mushroom are done with your seasonings in there, and a little bit of olive oil. If you have extra drippings in there, drain them off, put them into a bowl, okay? This is what it should look like though. It's nice big chunks instead of all ground up too fine. So drain that off if there's excess. Put it into a bowl. If you get any leftover bread or stale crackers or anything of that nature, put that in the bowl with the drippings and wait till the next day. Throw it out in your front yard to the birds. They absolutely love it. Everybody eats around here, okay? Next step, we've got our stock and it's at a roaring boil right now. Alright, so we're going to take our egg noodles, and again this started out as 6 cups. So we got a 12-ounce package of egg noodles and we're going to pour them right in. And what you want to do is stir them up for a few seconds here. And the thing that you don't want to do, you don't want to cook these all the way through to what the package directions are, because they're going to finish cooking in with the ground chuck, the onions, mushrooms, and all the other goodies that we put in there. So just keep an eye on them, keep stirring them, and they're going to impart that flavor to give you that other level that's just right there with picking up the stock and all the flavors that we put in here. So that's why you don't need a full pot of boiling water. So just keep an eye on them, keep checking them, and make sure they're undunteed, which is not quite done. Alright? We'll be back in just a little bit. Hey, we're back. Keep an eye on your noodles. You want to cook them maybe 5-7 minutes at best, but keep checking them, even if you got to check 5 of them. That's, you know, 5 more that you get to check. Make sure that they're not done, that they're firm and undunteed, as we call it. And add a little more stock if you need to while they're cooking, but not an overload of stock. Okay? You don't want a boatload of stock. This is what you want. So your noodles are barely covered. That's why you got to kind of hang out with them in the kitchen, drink your wine or your choice of whatever. Alright, take your ground beef and turn it up just a little bit more, maybe to about a medium. We had it turned down low. You want to take a cup of your beef stock at this point in time. We're going to turn the pasta down. But you want to take 2 brown gravy mix, low sodium, okay, and 1 mushroom gravy into your beef stock that's left. Goes off, pour them in. You don't want to pour them directly into your noodles, and you do not want to pour them into the beef, or you're going to have lumpy everything. So take it at room temperature or chilled and put all 3 of these packets in. Give them a good whisk. Get all the lumps out. So you got a mushroom gravy here, and you got 2 low sodium beef gravy mixes and 1 cup of beef stock. And you're gonna add those after you get all the lumps out. You're gonna add that right to your noodles. Alright, get all those extra little bits of mushrooms out because all the mushrooms count. And put that in there and get this thing on here. Alright, give this a good stir. Now it's on low at this point in time because you didn't want to overcook the noodles. Now, this is almost like if you were to take cornstarch for a thickening. This gives you some thickening to your pasta noodles, well, your dumpling noodles that we have, and it imparts a deeper, richer flavor into them. So again, it's just not that pot of boiling water with noodles floating around in them. And you don't want to throw away any of that goodness. So it just thickens them up. And this is what you're kind of looking for right there at that point in time. Your noodles aren't quite done. You're getting a rich, thick sauce. You got your ground beef, onions and mushrooms going. And then we're going to pour this into here, and we're going to take it from there. We'll be right back to see you. And in the meantime, have yourself a little vino, because that's going in too. Hey, we're back. I'm going to have a little sip of wine real quick. There we go. Dash for the cook. And the noodles that we have been cooking in the beef stock. And with the mixes in there, we're going to add a couple blobs of wine. Maybe a little more dash for flavor. Okay. You can sneak another one in there if you like. Cook's choice. Give that a good stir. Oh, how beautiful. And the smell, and the noodles aren't all limp and anything. They are just perfect. That is perfect. They soaked up all that beautiful stuff. Now what we're going to do from here is, they're already off. We're going to turn the ground chuck, the onions, mushrooms, olive oil that we had on here earlier. Turn it back up, and we're going to take this whole thing right here, and we're going to pour it right in. Oh yeah. Or you can do it vice versa. You know. Make sure you get all those goodies out there. Alright. Now, get that stirring up. Take that off there in case the back burner was on. Stir that all up together. Again, you can always put it back in the larger stock pot, or you can use a large skillet. Now from here, what you want to do, and we have about a low to medium heat on this right now. And from here, what we do is yogurt. We have a 6-ounce container of Greek yogurt, plain. Scoop that out and put that in. And see where that takes you first. Mix that in with your spatula. This is going to feed an army, okay? Either 2 really hungry people for like 2 days, or a family of 4. Oops, wait. Oh, see, I did that deliberately. Okay. I already forgot about the family of 4. That was 1 6-ounce. Stir that in. Check it. And then you get yourself another one. And you can add as you like. But we're just showing you the way we do it. The way we like it. Okay? So it's 2 6-ounce. You can buy the giant 1-pounders or 2-pounders of plain Greek yogurt at pretty much any grocery or market. And if you like the yogurt, you can add, you know, other goodies into it or use it for other things. And if you don't, you'll love it in this dish. And that's what we needed. We needed 16 ounces. Look at that. Look at that, folks. Got some chunky beef in it, the noodles and everything going on. Put that aside. Almost grabbed the bottle of drink. I'm going to have a little more. Hey, the cook needs some wine too. You know, the dish does, but the cook does. So what you want to do right now is have yourself another little drink. Personalized glass. That's when it's serious. So what you got to do from here now. So you got a hungry crowd coming over. Beautiful dish. Give yourself a little taste. Like that runaway noodle I had just a minute ago, you know? Just sneak one on off there, you know, nobody's gonna know. Beautiful. That's why I said hold off on the salt. Because there's sodium in the stock. And when you're cooking those noodles in it, it's just not a pot of boiling water. It's imparting flavor, and it's a whole new dimension to what you're doing. So this is our take on beef stroganoff. I'm looking at you. It's our take on beef stroganoff, and we call it Galui stroganoff because we do it a little different. And I think you're gonna love it. So give it a try. Pour yourself a glass of wine, and we'll be right back. Okay, here's your finished product. Check it out. That's a whole lot of goodness right there. That's Galui's Stroganoff. Alright, now, you may, at the end of this, when we have it like this, you might want to add a little bit more wine, which, you know, we do and we did. A little bit more Greek yogurt. Didn't do that for us. But check it out for your taste, salt and pepper or whatever. But it was pretty much spot on, except for the extra dash of wine for us, naturally. So hey, supper's ready. Get your fork, enjoy. And you've been watching Galui's Mood Food. We'll see you next time. Come on in. Oh, pair it with some green beans too, or the vegetable of your choice. Go ahead and get in there.
I remember what you said about us. It echoes through my head. Guess it was the one thing on my mind. Stayed with me through time and touched me deep inside. And when I'm feeling incomplete, reminds me just how much of you I need. And you will be forever on my mind. Stayed with me through time and touched me deep inside. That's why I'll always find my way right back to you. That's why I'll always find my way right back to you. Don't need a compass or a chart. I'm drawn to you right from my heart. So no matter where you go, what you do, I'll find my way right back